When it comes to German muscle, what comes to mind? Big V8s, luxury, and most importantly, a great noise. But what if you don't have the budget like me? What do? You go out and buy the cheapest V8 AMG in the country.
And they buys no wobber, they buys AMG.
Oh, that's me.
In the early 2000s, BMW and Mercedes were at war. Mercedes had just dropped the E55, a supercharged 5.5 litre monster that turned a sensible executive sedan into a tyre shredding weapon. And not long after, BMW released the infamous BMW E60 M5. A 5 litre V10 monster that screamed all the way to 8,000 RPM. Before this, big high-performance engines were only reserved for exotic cars like Ferrari and Lamborghini. However, the two German giants were at war. Mercedes' answer was simple: just make it bigger. Their answer, a huge 6.2 litre V8 engine, which they debuted in the E63 AMG.
And I wanted that, and this is what I came up with. I was bidding on my phone and I won the car for a very cheap price, and we'll show you that later. But this thing has a hand-built 6.2 litre V8 engine. And dude, this is the biggest engine I have ever seen.
The M156 that this E63 comes with makes 518 horsepower and revs to 7,200 RPM. This thing is huge.
Let's see who built it.
Tobias P?
Whoever he is, I hope he's done a good job.
When I was bidding on the car, I was a little bit worried that the frame would be damaged. The bolts have only shifted ever so slightly, and it's definitely something that we can potentially fix.
Now, the reason why I bought a crash damaged car and not a clean one is because when they are crashed, they are heavily discounted. It's like a fire sale. The only problem is we need to fix this and make it financially viable. I bought this car because I believe I can fix it for cheaper than what they sell for, and I guess we'll find out because parts for these cars are unreasonably expensive.
But the biggest thing that I'm happy about is the air suspension, because the air suspension in these cars are extremely expensive, and mine sort of works.
And I know it sort of works because we had to get this thing off the trailer, and that was a whole ordeal in itself because the thing was completely aired out and it was almost impossible to get off the trailer, so we had to use a scan tool to manually trigger each corner to raise the thing. Luckily the thing sort of worked, otherwise it would have been a nightmare.
Oh my god. Oh my god. It's going up both sides? Yeah. So there is some damage in the back. I can barely even open this door without it hitting the other door. The engine that's in this car is the legendary M156, and they're legendary, however, they are riddled with problems that can happen over time. So I am very worried about the engine, and that's probably the first thing that I'm gonna pay attention to, because we need to get this thing running in order to make sense of actually fixing this car.
That's because these engines are expensive. And if I have to buy one, it's just not worth fixing.
Whoa.
Now the first mission was to get the car in the shop.
Bro, careful of his carbon lip.
Bro, it's mint condition, what do you mean?
And because the damage was so bad, the frame had like pushed itself onto the front passenger wheel, so we couldn't exactly push it.
And we're gonna go around this crash bar because it's already cooked anyway, the condenser's cooked, whole car's cooked, man.
This is so sketchy.
Oh, it's going. It's good, you're all good. You're driving it for the first time.
Bro, we got it working. Look at that.
Yeah.
It's moving. Oh, you're right? Yeah. I can see my voice. That's good. Just stay there. That's good. That was very difficult. Holy crap. But it's in the shop, guys. It's now time to fix it, baby. Oh my god, this car is absolutely cooked. The first thing that we need to figure out is the air suspension, because as you can see right now, it is completely slammed.
The air suspension works, but overnight it deflates. And I need to move the car in order to get it on the hoist, so I've got to sort that out first.
And everything on this car is electronic. So we actually had to jump the car in order to open the boot. And we just used the terminals under here. So in the fuse box, there's a positive terminal right there, and we just used the strut tower bolts as a negative. And luckily this car came with a key, and I was able to open the boot.
The last time that this car was registered was in March 2025, so only a few months ago, but that meant the battery was completely dead. So I took it out, put it on charge, and then installed another spare battery that we had laying around.
Now, when you get the car onto ignition mode, the air suspension is supposed to air up. However, obviously that is not happening. When we turn the key, get all these warning lights and it says vehicle rising, please wait, restraint system malfunction, visit workshop, and then malfunction with the arrow up, which I'm thinking is probably the air suspension. Luckily though, we have this scan tool, which allows us to plug into the computer of the car and actually raise the air suspension. And we figured that out the other day when trying to get this thing off the trailer. And I guess I'm gonna have to get used to working on computers when working on these European cars.
Modern European cars use a very complex computer system, so we have to plug in this scan tool in order to diagnose and fix problems, which is very unusual because I'm used to working on Japanese cars.
So I've got the air suspension calibration all ready to go. So we're gonna click OK. And now, when I press F7, check this out, guys. You hear that? The pump is working. How insane is that? The suspension is slowly coming up.
Now it does work, but the car shouldn't air out when left over time. So something is definitely wrong, and hopefully the damage is not too bad.
We now have the car up in the air and we're going to check real quick to see if we can spot any damage. There's obviously a lot of damage.
What the hell? I didn't even notice.
We're going to check if there's big damage. Damage to the point where I guess we can't repair it, but it doesn't look like it so far.
No, it looks pretty good. Upon first glance, the rails, I mean, this one's a little bit italics.
Yeah.
But this one looks kind of straight.
Yeah, that one.
Maybe slightly this way, but not too bad.
Everything's pretty straight. There's no kinks anywhere. Like the suspension's salvageable, right?
Yeah, but I did notice that. So that's probably what caused the accident right there.
Oh, you reckon?
Split ball joint boot.
From where the forklift picked up the car, it's actually not too bad. I was worried there was going to be some big gashes in the floor, but looks like this thing's pretty solid underneath.
Yeah, surprisingly no damage from the forklift, considering he literally dragged it onto the trailer. Well, dragged the forks off the trailer. This bag looks all right.
That one looks okay.
Yeah, that one looks good.
It's the back that always airs down.
Yeah, so it must be somewhere. Oh yeah, that'll do it. Oh yeah.
It's like on an angle.
15-degree angle bag.
So the air suspension airs up, but it deflates, and this, I guess, is the culprit. So that's going to be a few dollars added to the repair cost.
Makes a lot more sense now why this thing keeps airing out.
But this shock, for some reason, looks really rusty. Did you see that?
Isn't there supposed to be like a bag over this?
Yeah, that is the bag.
No, but on this side, look, there's like rubber covering everything.
Oh, it's split here too. Yeah, who knows? I mean, it could be like a recode shock or something. I guess you'll have to wait and see. That's the least of your problems, because you can always delete the air suspension if you really had to. It's not ideal, but you can definitely do that.
Overall, underneath the car, we're quite happy. So far, we are winning.
We're just going to take the wheels off now to see if we can see any more damage underneath here. Hopefully, it's all right. There we go. Oh, look at the brakes on this thing. Bro, check this out. Just for hand reference, look at that. Unbelievable stopping power. I mean, it makes sense because this thing's 1.8 tons with a V8. Dude. Now, unfortunately, it does look like there is a bit of damage, guys, on the frame. So I didn't realize that this right there was the frame. You can see it's sort of pried away at it ever so slightly. Up here as well, a few dents right there, not ideal. And this is where the wheel was also rubbing on, as well as the actuator for the suspension bracket right there. Oh no, this is not good. So I've just taken the other side off to compare, and I think I know what's happened. What they've done, the mechanic shop or the insurance, is that they've taken off the fender lining here and they've seen that this is bent. Because on the other side, the fender lining is still intact and we should at least still have the fender lining there even after that accident. There's no way I would have ripped that off, I don't think. But the frame is definitely slightly kinked here. Not the main part of it. The main part of it looks nice and straight, but we're gonna have to pull the rest of the car apart to figure out what exactly is under all of this stuff. It could be even worse than that. But none of this matters if the engine is bad. So the first thing that I have to do is I've got to drain the oil and check the oil filter to make sure that there's no metal in the oil, because if there is, then this car was definitely not worth it. These M156 engines are extremely expensive. They're very hard to work on, and if this is toast, oh, I'm screwed. So the first thing that we're going to do is check the oil. We're going to pull the oil filter and hopefully we're all good.
This right here could very well be the end of this build. If there's metal in the oil, I don't have the budget to repair this and I'd have to scrap the car. So I've got my fingers and toes crossed. We're going to start by draining the oil.
It's coming off. Where the hell is the drain bolt? Ah, there it is. Right here, guys, is the drain bolt. Please pray for me in the comments. Oh man, I'm nervous. And it looks stripped. It looks stripped as well. Great. Here we go, 13 millimeter. Apparently, there's 8.5 liters of oil. Oh, okay. Okay, so far, so good, guys. Not too bad. Doesn't look like it's sparkly or anything. Thoughts?
It smells very old. Definitely smells like stale oil.
Yeah, this car's probably been sitting for a while.
You're not going to know if it's sparkly until you take the oil filter out and spread the flaps.
Oh geez, there's like not much oil in here. Any sparklies? It's looking good so far. The oil pan was pretty dirty, so hopefully we're okay, but it looks good so far. Everything's looking all good with the oil. We're now gonna check the filter. I'm gonna cut it open to see if there are any sparklies in the filter. Obviously, if there are any sparklies, any bits of metal, then they'll be in the filter, so hopefully we're all good. Oh, Jesus. I was on tight. Looks all right. It's looking pretty good so far.
It's good to see that it's Marley, which is a genuine manufacturer for Mercedes, and the same with BMW and Audi. They all use Marley.
So that's a genuine oil filter.
It's a genuine brand, but it's not a Mercedes brand Marley.
Yeah.
So, but all they do is they put a Mercedes brand on, they put a Mercedes logo on it, but then it still says Marley on it.
Should we chop it open?
Yeah, it looks really good. Like there's not a single speck of bronze or silver in there.
It's looking good so far, guys. Nathan got out the knife and started cutting the filter apart so we could investigate further.
Here we go, it's coming apart. Ooh, here we go. Looking pretty good.
A couple of little flakes, but nothing. Oh, here you go.
What is that?
A little bit of bronze in there.
What is that? That doesn't look too bad.
No, it looks pretty good.
Standard stuff that's...
Yeah, this has less shit in it than my built SR20, which only has 20,000 kilometers. Yeah, this is mint.
Sick.
Good sign.
It's a very good sign.
There's no plastic chunks for the timing chain guides either. I think you bought a good one. What's your opinion, Lachlan?
I think it's a decent motor. I think you got lucky.
Do you want to wear it?
Wear like a hat?
Like a...
Not a tonight.
You know?
Chuck it on it.
Spread it open.
So this is a very good sign. Doesn't look like there's any problems with the oil or the oil filter. Everything is leading towards the engine being okay. But we still have a lot more investigating to do.
Oh my God. Don't know how we're gonna get this crash bar off. It is completely smushed. We're just gonna remove as many bolts as we can see. Let's see if we can figure it out. Ah, God damn it.
So you're probably wondering why we're taking the car apart when we need to start the engine. Well, I need to look at the engine first, front on, to see what actually has been damaged. I don't know the full extent of the damage yet, so we need to make sure that everything is okay.
Oh my God. Oh. Jesus Christ. Oh my God, it's coming off in pieces. What the hell? Holy crap, this headlight is destroyed. Oh, there we go.
Unbolting this crash bar was not an option because it was smushed quite badly. So that's why we're resorting to the dangerous electric saw.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Okay, so we almost now have the radiator support and radiator off the car. And like I said, it doesn't matter about fixing the cosmetic stuff unless the engine's good, and we still can't confirm that the engine's good until we actually turn it on and start it. But the reason why we needed to take the front end apart is because of this. I don't know if I showed you guys earlier, but the serpentine belt, you wanna do the honors, Nathan? It's in half. The serpentine belt, yeah, this thing was cooked. Now this is a good sign because this tells me that the car was potentially running when it was crashed, because it wouldn't make sense for this thing to fly off the car if it wasn't running. So this, although it looks like a bad sign, is also a very good sign. I've also managed to pull the radiator back a little bit, and we do have some issues back here. I don't know if the camera can see, but the harmonic balancer was hit, but it doesn't look like it's damaged, which is good. However, the AC compressor all the way down there, see if you can zoom in. Yeah, the AC compressor, that pulley is done. The power steering pump as well. Power steering pump cooked, AC compressor pulley cooked. There's a few tensioner pulleys that are pretty bad. They're a little bit wobbly and stuff. Makes sense. The belt was literally ripped off.
It looks like these power steering pumps aren't crazy expensive. Now, of course, I'm looking at non-genuine ones because we're trying to save money here. And who knows, we might find someone wrecking one as well. AC compressors are a little bit more pricey, ranging from about $500 to $700. However, looks like there's a used one for $194. So I feel like if we look hard enough, we should be able to fix this thing for quite cheap.
Hopefully these parts aren't too expensive from Merc, or maybe we can get some secondhand, or we can get some brand new aftermarket ones. I don't know yet. I'm going to continue pulling the rest of the car apart, get this radiator off, and see the extent of this damage properly. I also forgot to mention that the reason why we haven't tried to start the car with some fresh oil is because this is the oil cooler. And as you can see, it's been hit. I think it sits like at the bottom of the car or something. But yeah, this is leaking oil bad, which means that, yeah, we can't start the car. Looks like the lines are okay though, which is ideal. Doesn't look like they're bent or kinked in any way. That would probably be expensive to replace. Or maybe they're cooked, who knows? Release these.
Because of the damage, this radiator and fan shroud was very difficult to remove. I almost just used force instead of unbolting things because there were just so many pieces.
No coolant, nice. Oh, there is a little bit of coolant in there, I can see it, it's green. Oh my God, dude. The radiator is so bent. Look at this. Oh, whoa, what's that? Don't know if I should be concerned, but what is going on here? I thought that was just some fan shroud wiring. What is that?
That's probably why we couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, I think so. It's just melted together. Jesus. Oh no. All right, there's our fan shroud.
Now, fortunately, the lower models like the E320, E350, E500, and the E55, I'm considering that lower because this is the E63. I'm just kidding, the E55 is cool. They all share the same parts or similar parts. So I should be able to get a radiator for one of these models and they should just bolt up, as well as an AC condenser as well.
There we go. Woohoo! Dude, look at that radiator. We finally now have access to the front of the engine. And man, it is a big engine, 6.2 liters, guys. Holy moly. What we're gonna do now is we are going to spin the crank. Now, I'm not too sure if there are any other procedures to do before we do this, but rotating the engine is gonna tell us if the engine is seized or not. My heart is pounding right now. I'm extremely worried. I don't know if this is gonna be the end of today, because if this doesn't spin, I'm screwed. Like I said, I'm absolutely screwed.
Lachlan and I have been burnt in the past because we haven't checked if an engine rotates before we've bought it in the past. It's very important, especially if you're buying a secondhand engine or you're buying a non-running car, to check that the engine spins, otherwise it could end in shambles.
I guess here goes nothing, guys. Oh my goodness, I'm so nervous. All right, are you ready for this?
Bro, I am so keen.
I'm nervous.
See if you're up for a big bill or you're just chilling, you know?
I don't even want to do the honors, man. Do you want to do it? No, I'll do it just in case. So I believe you can only spin this one way. That's what the research says, right?
Yep, spin it clockwise.
Clockwise, right? So here goes nothing. Here we go. It's rotating. Oh my God, I thought that was locked for a second, but that was just compression. We're like moving like what 6.2 liters of freaking air right now?
Yeah, it's looking good.
You wanna give it a light spin? Okay, here we go.
Oh my, bro, that's tight.
Oh, I'm so worried.
Oh, bro, it's got compression.
That's a good sign. Oh, what was that?
Something clicked.
Okay, that's a bit worrying.
Do we keep going?
Yeah, go. It's making some noise, man. I can hear something.
There's like some clicking in the head.
Oh, you
can hear that, yeah?
I can. Some noise. I really hope that maybe it's because it doesn't have oil pressure right now and the tensioners for the chain are like making some noise.
Yeah, I'm a BMW tech, not a Merc tech.
That's pretty concerning though. That's making some noise.
It sounded like head related though, right?
No idea.
I heard the clicking like here, like in that area.
Well, at least we know it rotates, which means that we can crank it, which means that we can start it.
Oh, I think you're jumping ahead a bit there. I don't know if you can start it, but it's got compression and it spins freely. Half a W?
Half a W, I'll take it. Now the goal was to get this thing filled with oil and then give it a start just to make sure that the engine's okay. However, I found another problem from the accident. So the oil cooler line that goes from the engine all the way down to the front oil cooler, there's actually 2 oil coolers, but this line, as you can see, it's kinked pretty bad. And I'm worried that if I start the engine with that kink, it'll starve the engine somehow because it's ruining the flow of oil. So I'm gonna try to take this off and see if we can get this bent out a little bit better. Looks like there's a bolt on the engine and a bolt on the cooler itself, so I'm gonna start taking that apart, see what I can find. All right, good oil coming out. May as well get the entire oil cooler off because it's cooked. So I've got the hose off, and as you can see, this thing is very bent. So I think if I was to start the car, it would just starve the flow, probably wouldn't run right. It is kinked really, really bad. I'm gonna take it down to a local hose shop to see if they can actually fix this. And this hose to buy used is like $200. So I don't wanna spend $200 on a hose. So I'm gonna try to see if a local repair shop can actually fix this. I took the hose down to a local hose repair shop, and unfortunately, they couldn't fix it. Luckily, this hose came up for $85 on eBay, and I also bought an oil cooler all the way from Sydney for $300. So we're so far $385 in repair costs. Ooh, whoops. Didn't realize this thing was filled with water. While I waited for parts, I thought it'd be a smart idea to take more of the car apart to see the damage. So we took the left guard off, and yeah, it's not the best. There we go. Whew. Okay, so we have the guard off the car now, and guys, there's more damage than I thought. We have some frame damage, guys. I'm not too stoked about this, like, it's pretty bad, but we still need to play around with the engine and see if this thing's actually gonna run. So I needed to grab some oil, so I went to Autobahn and picked up some 5W40, and then I also went to Mercedes in my BMW to grab a genuine oil filter. Currently at Mercedes Brighton in my BMW. This feels so wrong. Yeah, boys. Now, I was just on the phone to the parts department, and apparently an oil filter is $97 for this M156. Absolute rip-off. But that's what you can expect buying cars that are European and that are old, I guess. I'm used to Toyotas where an oil filter is like, you know, 10 bucks. Why have I gotten myself into these European cars, man? So I grabbed my oil filter for $97, and then I did some manifesting. Got my oil filter, just the AMG section right now. Manifesting, guys. This is sick. Because one day I want to walk in here and buy a car from Mercedes. So the first thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna fill the engine up with oil. And then I've also got a filter as well, just a generic Ryco filter, which should do the job. Just for the meantime, we're gonna use a Ryco filter because we're gonna do an engine flush, but we've got that genuine expensive filter for later. I got my apprentice Zach, who's on work experience, to talk down the oil filter. Shout out to Zach. There you go, that's it. Apprentice Zach. And then the parts finally came. Here's the old oil cooler. It's very smushed. And here is our new oil cooler. Brand new secondhand oil cooler. Whoa, nearly dropped it. Oh my God. An oil cooler line. Hell yeah. Oh, this thing's dirty as. Wow, that's much better. There is before and after. Quite a big difference. I'm gonna start installing everything, put some oil in the car, and then hopefully it starts. now filling the car up with oil. Predictions, Nathan?
I think it'll start. It'll be rattly, but it'll start.
The golden nectar is going in. Whoop. Okay, so we now have the engine filled with oil. We've got the oil cooler on. We've got the new line on. I have taken out a few of the fuses to make sure that the car doesn't accidentally start when I had the ignition on. So we're gonna chuck those back in. So we took these two fuses out to make sure that the car doesn't start. So we're gonna chuck them back in, wherever they go. This one in here. All the fuses are back in.
Well, since the car's been sitting dry basically for so long, you don't want to just fill it up and then start cranking it straight away and then it might fire. So it's a good idea to unplug the fuel pump fuse or the relay just so it can build oil pressure and then it's good to start.
That's assuming if the car actually cranks. We don't actually know if it's gonna crank or not, so I'm scared. So just to be safe, to make sure that the car doesn't fire, we're taking out the fuel pump fuse so the engine can't start and we can crank it.
Yeah, but there's like 328 fuses.
4 is not 30. Oh, I think they've done the wrong thing. We're now gonna put power to the car. I'm so nervous.
Should be alright.
Okay. Do you reckon hold my foot on the brake? Okay. Turning the key.
I can't hear any fuel.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing. So we can't get the car to start. I've got Nathan trying to figure out if we can clear the codes on this tablet, the scan tool.
So far it's doing a scan of every single control unit in the car.
No matter what we did, the car just didn't start. So we just cleared the SRS code and we cleared a bunch of other different modules and stuff. So I'm gonna try start it again, see how we go. Nothing. We tried clearing codes, we tried using special functions on the tablet. The tablet either isn't capable of removing the codes in order to start the car, or something is terribly wrong. Okay, we're gonna clear DTCs. I don't know if this is gonna do anything. Okay, here we go. This is where I need your help. If you know more than me, comment down below. And if you have a scan tool that we could borrow, please hit me up. Hopefully, I didn't buy a lemon.